So there's this thing called compounding continuously and also annual percentage yield. But first, the continuously part. The idea is that there is a limit to how much you can compound. You can compound more and more and more, but you get less and less return from doing it. So I have a demonstration here in decimal set up. Here, this represents $1. This is a percent. 1 is actually 100%. And then we're going to start compounding it over 1 year. Now, if a bank was to give you 100% interest, then after 1 year you would get $2. Now, if we compound semi-annually, we would get $2.25. If we do it quarterly, we get $2.44. So we're getting more and more money. Monthly, we'd get $2.61, $2.61. Daily, we'd get $2.71, 10 more. And if we keep going, like 365 times 24, this is hourly, times 60 is secondly, minutely, and then times 60 again is secondly. But you'll notice we're hitting a limit here. We're compounding so much, we're actually getting to the number E, 2.71828. And so this is where E comes from. Actually, if I have this go all the way up to 10 to the 7th, you get 2.718281, and then the number keeps going. So this is what happens when you compound continuously. We're imagining that we are going to compound at every instant instead of like every hour. So it is always compounding. So the formula for that basically is Pert. So there are some changes here. P remains the same, T remains the same. So this is the principal. I think it's LE. And this is time. The rate here, you do not add 1. So for example, if we were going to take $100, invest it for 5 years at 2%, the setup would be 100 e to the 0.02 times 5. And if you asked when that investment would double, you could do 100.02 times t equals 200. And again, if they didn't even give you a starting value, you just make sure that you start with a value and then double it as your answer. So that's compounding continuously. When it says compounding continuously, you just use this instead. So let's talk about APY. APY is basically, after compounding, what is the actual interest rate if you didn't do any compounding? So, for example, if we take $100 and we do 8% over, well, compounded daily, the question is, what simple interest rate could we have just gone with so that we didn't have to compound? So the idea here is that 100 times 1 plus 0.08 divided by 365 times 365, and just think about it in 1 year. So this is our principal. This is what our principal is going to grow by. So if we put that in the calculator, 1 plus 0.08 divided by 365, raise it to the 365th power, what I'm getting is actually 1.083277 ... Now, the APY will be 8.3% basically. What it's saying is that instead of compounding, I could simply just do a simple annual percent of 8.3%. And so the reason they do this is that compounding could get kind of confusing. But if you could change any compounding problem into an APY, you're able to then compare them directly between different types of loans. So when you get a mortgage, when you get personal loans, it'll be compounded yearly, monthly, daily, and things like that. But you can always, and I think it's even by law, you have to be supplied with the APY. So APY is basically how you could compare interest rates.